Canada's real estate market might be imploding, and with it, the rest of our economy. According to new data from the Canadian Real Estate Association, the sales to new listing ratio, or the SNLR, fell to 49.3% in June, marking the weakest June demand balance since 1995, a time when Canada was in its most severe real estate crash in modern history. And it's not just the level that's alarming, it's the speed of the decline. The SNLR has now dropped for 4 consecutive years, falling 23.8 points from its peak during the pandemic. A collapse, once again, not seen since the lead up to the 90s housing crash. The ratio's plunge is being driven by new listings rising 8%, while sales ticked up just 3.5%, meaning supply is now growing more than twice as fast as demand. Now, you might be saying, well, wait a minute, that should be impossible. We're in the middle of a housing shortage crisis. We're also told the housing crisis is being driven by a lack of supply to meet surging population growth. And on paper, this is true. Canada added over 1.2 million people to its population in 2023 and over 1.3 million in 2024. But if demand is surging, why are homes suddenly sitting longer on the market, and why is demand declining? Well, because now the tide has shifted from a housing shortage to an affordability crisis. The cost of living is killing the market. Interest rates remain stubbornly high, wage growth is completely stagnant, grocery bills and rent have absolutely exploded. In fact, the average take-home income for a family of four is $8,000 less than the average cost of living for that same family of four. So the average Canadian simply can't afford to buy, no matter how badly they want to. The result, of course, is the current paradox that we're in. Record population growth with millions needing homes, yet buyer demand is completely disappearing. And this is not just a social crisis, it's a market crisis. The last time the SNLR dropped this quickly, it triggered the sharpest real estate correction in Canadian history. In the Greater Toronto Area, average home prices dropped 34% from 1989 to 1991 and continued to decline through the 90s. From 1989 to 1996, Canadian home prices dropped by nearly 40% nationally when adjusted for inflation, and housing starts plummeted by over 50%. Canada fell into a deep recession from April 1990 to 1992, with real GDP declining by about 2% in 1991 and unemployment rising from 7.2% to 12.1% by 1992. Nationally, over $400 billion was wiped out in household assets alone. Canada was grinding through this for nearly a decade, and if these numbers are as strong an indication as the Canadian Real Estate Association says, we may be heading down the exact same path, but this time, it's not just speculation or overbuilding driving the crash, it's systemic affordability failure driven by bad government action and bad government policy.